Hey everybody, this is John, and welcome to the free video. And what a crazy couple of weeks. So we've had, well, first of all, let's see, last week I was in London, and it was great. I love the trading hours there. The markets open up at 2:30 in the afternoon, which is fantastic. So I like that. The week before that, we had a live trading workshop, which was online. And now we're going to continue the second half of that live trading this week on Thursday and Friday. And I want to talk a little bit about what to look at because we got three things this week. We got FOMC on Wednesday, which is going to be crazy. We've got quadruple witching, so that wraps up on Friday. That'll be nuts. And then we've got cycle highs coming up on the 17th. So a couple different things going on there. So the question here then on the Qs, today we were down on the day, largely on the back of an explosion up in oil and some worries around that. But ultimately here we came up to 2 ATR on the daily chart, and we're starting to revert back. And the question is it going to be driven, lower from there? And from here, what we want to do is we want to take a look at TLT because there's been a huge unwinding here in TLT as everyone braces for the next round of news, right? And there was a little bit of a bounce today. I think this is a buying opportunity in TLT. What happened here is the market's got ahead of itself. Everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to have a recession. But they're doing this way too early. And it's like, well, it's not starting yet. We got to get out. So that was called the unwinding of that trade. But now I think there's some opportunities to pick up some new positions in TLT. And then gold is held up really, really well. So we got some December calls in there. And what I want to do now is start looking at adding to them at these levels. Okay, so I just want to wait for this momentum to shift here, and we'll start picking up some stuff there. And then from there, there's just a lot of interesting plays going on. I think we're setting up for a short squeeze in Beyond Meat, right? So that's one we're playing. Roku has got some signals here. Which is a fun one to play, as does Now is another one that we're looking at. And this is one we'll probably trade during the live trading session. So this is the kind of market here where it's, spending a little bit less time on specific index direction and really drilling down on these unique opportunities. It's like, okay, man, this unwinding really took bonds down to 3 ATR. That's now a buying opportunity, right? Now has a stock that's been hammered, but it's forming a base here. We've got a daily squeeze and a 78-minute squeeze. It's time for some short covering back to 268. That's a tradable move, and that's the stuff that we want to focus on in this market. All right, a couple things to kind of help navigate the markets. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these lines. We call them Voodoo Lines. They're lines that are there all the time, like they don't change. And the strongest ones are the red ones, call those the fire lines. And then the second strong ones are the green ones. And what happens is basically, and then the third ones are the white ones. So basically what will happen is that they kind of attract price. So we come up to the white one, right? You can see then we come down to the red one, and then we kind of rally back up to the white one, then boom, we come down to the green one, right? And so we came back up to the white one. And then, so right now we're kind of sitting here right in between kind of this no man land. So this is the weekly chart. Now, if you go to the daily chart, the lines are the same. You're just able to drill down more. And you can see this recent move. We were sandwiched between this snow line and this snow line on the S&P 500. That's very common. With the squeeze, we broke through. We got up to the skyline. And now the whole idea here is that we start working our way back. And it's across all markets. So like here's the 30-year bonds. We kind of came up here. We're at the snow line, boom, fire line. We kind of come through, and then now we're kind of coming back down. And what I'm looking for here is that we kind of bang back and forth between these skylines, then come back up here. And by the way, the first test back up here, you short it. But they also work with stocks too. So here you can see came up to the snow line. And again, remember these snow lines don't change. They're here all the time. Came down to this snow line here. Back to the snow line, stop at the tree line, back at the snow line, back to the fire line. So again, on and on and on. And what's great about this, you can actually set targets and things at these levels. All right, so what is this? So if you go to simplertrading.com/point, David, Starr, and I are going to do a free webinar starting at 7 o'clock that basically explains the whole concept I was going to write down explains of what are known as the Voodoo Lines. So you can just kind of understand what they are. the remarkable support and resistance they provide to the market. And unlike pivots, they don't change every day. They are static. They're there. We've traded off of the same levels in the bond market for over a decade, and you just kind of recycle over and over and over again. So, and what's nice about this too is that you're talking about it brings into account patterns that have been in place for 30 years, okay? How you can trade these swing highs and lows, how to time them, how to identify all-time highs in advance. Okay, let's actually go look at Amazon real quick. So, believe it or not, these red lines are the most powerful. So we had a bottom here on a red line, came here, traded around it, and as we kind of crawl back up, we stopped dead in our tracks right here. And then we come stop at the red line here again, guess what? We stop right here at it. I mean, it's really crazy how these work. And I call them voodoo because I don't know why they work. They just do. So anyway, that's what they are. If you're not aware of them, it really is a fairly remarkable just kind of concept. And then if you are aware of them, we'll just kind of talk about some new stuff you can do with them and some things like that too. And basically what's setting up in this current market. All right, simplertrading.com/point. You guys have a fantastic evening and see you at the next update.